My wife's best friend whispered, "Thank you for last night at our anniversary dinner." My wife smiled and said, "Anytime." My name is Nathan, I'm 36, and this is the story of how one whispered comment at a restaurant destroyed my 8-year marriage and revealed a secret that had been hiding in plain sight. I need to start by explaining my marriage because understanding what I thought I had makes understanding what I actually had even more devastating. I met my wife Claire when we were both 28. She was a graphic designer, I was working in construction management. We met at a mutual friend's wedding, hit it off immediately, and fell into one of those easy relationships where everything just clicked. We got married 2 years later in a small ceremony, bought a house, adopted a dog, lived what I thought was a perfectly normal, happy life. Claire's best friend since college was a woman named Jordan. They'd been roommates for 3 years, stayed close after graduation, talked almost daily. Jordan was around constantly, she'd come over for dinner at least twice a week, joined us for weekend trips, was basically part of our family. She was funny, easy to be around, and I genuinely considered her a good friend too. Jordan had gone through a string of short relationships over the years, nothing serious, nothing that lasted more than a few months. She'd joke about being married to her career in marketing. Claire would sometimes try to set her up with my single friends, but nothing ever took. It just seemed like Jordan was focused on other things. Looking back now, there were signs. Small things I didn't think twice about at the time. The way Claire and Jordan would sometimes finish each other's sentences. How they'd share these looks across the room that seemed to communicate entire conversations. The fact that Jordan had a key to our house and would sometimes be there when I got home from work, just hanging out with Claire. Claire would occasionally go on girls' weekends with Jordan, spa trips, wine country, beach houses. I never questioned it. She'd come back relaxed and happy, and I was glad she had a close friendship. Everyone needs their own life outside of marriage. About 6 months ago, I started noticing that Claire seemed distant. Not in an obvious way, she wasn't cold or mean, just slightly disconnected. She'd be on her phone more, smiling at messages she wouldn't share. She'd go to bed earlier than usual, saying she was tired. Our sex life had slowed down considerably, from a few times a week to maybe once every 2 weeks. When I asked if everything was okay, she'd say she was stressed about work or tired from some project. It seemed plausible. I didn't push. Jordan, meanwhile, seemed to be around even more than usual. She'd show up unannounced on weeknight evenings, she and Claire would disappear into the kitchen or out to the back patio to talk. Sometimes I'd walk in on them having intense whispered conversations that would stop abruptly when they noticed me. "Everything okay?" I'd ask. "Yeah, just girl talk," Claire would say with a smile. I trusted my wife. Completely. It never occurred to me to question what was happening. Our 8th wedding anniversary was 3 weeks ago. I'd made reservations at Marcello's, the upscale Italian restaurant where we'd had our first date. Claire seemed excited about it, got dressed up in a new dress, looked beautiful. We were running a few minutes late because Claire kept checking her phone. "Everything okay?" I asked as we drove to the restaurant. "Yeah, sorry. Jordan's having a crisis with a client. She's been texting me about it all day." "On our anniversary?" "I know, I told her I'm busy tonight. She's just stressed." We got to the restaurant and were being seated when Claire's face lit up. "Oh. Jordan's here." I turned and saw Jordan at the bar, waving. She was dressed up too, black dress, heels, hair and makeup done more than usual. "What's she doing here?" I asked, confused. "I invited her," Claire said brightly. "I hope you don't mind. She's been so down lately, and I thought it would cheer her up to join us for dinner. Plus, she loves this place." I minded. It was our anniversary. But Claire had already bounded over to Jordan, and they were hugging, and I felt like an a-hole for being annoyed that my wife wanted to include her best friend. So I smiled and went along with it. Dinner was fine, I guess. Claire and Jordan did most of the talking, catching up on work gossip and mutual friends. I contributed where I could but mostly felt like a third wheel at my own anniversary dinner. At one point, Claire got up to use the restroom. Jordan and I sat in awkward silence for a moment. "This is nice," she finally said. "Thanks for letting me crash your anniversary." "Claire invited you," I said, trying to keep the edge out of my voice. "I know. She's the best." Jordan smiled in a way that seemed loaded with meaning I didn't understand. When Claire came back, she and Jordan immediately resumed their conversation. I ordered another whiskey and checked my phone. We finished dessert around 9:30. The server brought the check, and I paid while Claire and Jordan took turns in the bathroom. When they came back, they were both slightly flushed, smiling at each other. We walked out to the parking lot together. Jordan had parked near us. "Thanks for dinner," Jordan said, hugging Claire first, a long hug, longer than seemed normal. Then she turned to hug me, and as she pulled away, she leaned close to Claire's ear and whispered something. I was standing right there. Close enough to hear. "Thank you for last night." It was quiet, intimate. The kind of whisper you'd use for a secret. I watched Claire's face. She smiled, this soft, private smile, and said just as quietly, "Anytime." They both seemed to remember I was there at the same moment. Jordan's eyes went wide. Claire's face froze. "Last night?" I heard myself say. "What?" Claire's voice was too bright, too fast. Jordan just thanked you for last night. "What happened last night?" Jordan was backing away toward her car. "I should go." "No, wait. What happened last night?" I looked between them. Claire laughed, but it sounded forced. "Nothing. Jordan came over, we had wine and watched a movie." "She's thanking me for the wine, right, Jordan?" Jordan nodded too enthusiastically. "Yeah. The wine. It was good wine." I'd worked late the previous night and gotten home around 10 p.m. Claire had been in bed, said she was tired, barely acknowledged me when I came in. I'd assumed she'd been asleep. "You watched a movie?" I asked Claire. "Yeah. After you texted saying you'd be late, Jordan came over to keep me company." Something in the way she said it felt wrong. The energy between them felt wrong. "Okay," I said slowly. "What movie?" Claire blinked. "What? What movie did you watch?" "Oh, that new thriller. The one with," she looked at Jordan. "The one with Jake Gyllenhaal," Jordan supplied. "Right. That one." I didn't know any new thriller with Jake Gyllenhaal, but I also don't keep up with movies. Jordan basically fled to her car at that point. Claire and I drove home in silence. "You're being weird," Claire finally said as we pulled into our driveway. "Am I?" "Jordan thanked me for wine and you're acting like she confessed to murder." The way she said it was strange. "You're reading into things." Maybe I was. But I couldn't shake the feeling that I'd stumbled onto something. That night, Claire went to bed early again. I stayed up, my mind racing. I pulled out my laptop and checked our joint credit card statement, the one we used for household expenses. I scrolled back to the previous night. No wine purchase. No food delivery. Nothing that suggested Claire had company. I scrolled back further. Looking at the past 6 months, there was a pattern I'd never noticed before. Hotel charges. About once a month, sometimes more. Always the same hotel, a boutique place downtown, nice but not luxury. Charges for $220 to $280. My hands were shaking as I clicked through them. 8 hotel charges in 6 months. I went into our bedroom. Claire was asleep, or pretending to be. "Claire, wake up." She stirred. "What? Why are there hotel charges on our credit card?" She sat up fast, suddenly very awake. "What are you talking about?" I showed her the laptop. 8 times in 6 months. This hotel downtown. Why are we paying for hotel rooms? "Oh. Those." She tried to look casual. "Jordan uses those sometimes. When she has clients in town and needs a place to put them up. She pays me back in cash." Why wouldn't she just put it on her own card? Her company is weird about reimbursements. It's easier this way. "Show me the cash." "What?" "If she paid you back in cash, show me. That's over $2,000. Where did you put it?" "I don't know, Nathan. I spent it. On groceries and gas and regular life. Our bank account hasn't had any large cash deposits. Because I used it for small purchases." "Why are you interrogating me?" "Because nothing about this makes sense." My voice was rising. Jordan whispers, "Thank you for last night to you at our anniversary dinner. You claim you watched a movie but there's no evidence you ordered food or wine. And now I find out we've been paying for hotel rooms that you say are for Jordan's clients but can't prove she paid you back." Claire's face had gone pale. "You're being paranoid." "Then explain it to me. Make it make sense." "I don't have to explain anything. You're acting crazy." "Claire, are you having an affair?" The question hung in the air like smoke. "No," she said, but her voice shook. "I'm not having an affair." "Are you in love with someone else?" No. Then what the hell is going on? She looked at me for a long moment, and I watched her face cycle through emotions, fear, sadness, resignation. I need to tell you something, she finally said. But you have to promise not to freak out. My heart was pounding. I'm already freaking out, Claire. Just tell me. She took a deep breath. Jordan and I. We're more than friends. I stared at her. What does that mean? It means. She started crying. It means I'm in love with her. I have been for years. Since before I met you. The room felt like it was tilting. You're gay? I'm bisexual. But yes, I'm in love with Jordan. I always have been. Then why did you marry me? Because I love you too. I do, Nathan. I love you so much. But I also love her, and the hotel rooms, I said, my brain trying to process. Those were for you and Jordan. She nodded, still crying. You've been having an affair with your best friend for 6 months. It's not an affair. I mean, it is, but it's not, it's more complicated than that. How is it complicated? You're married to me and sleeping with someone else. I know it's wrong. But Nathan, I've been in love with Jordan for 14 years. We were together in college, before we graduated. Then she got scared and ended it, said she wasn't ready to be out. So I moved on. I dated guys. I met you and I fell in love with you and I thought that part of my life was over. But Jordan came back and... When? I demanded. When did this start again? Last December. She told me she'd been miserable without me. That she'd made a mistake ending things. That she wanted to be with me. And you said what? Sorry, I'm married? Or did you say anytime? She flinched at that. Last night, I said, the pieces coming together. When you told me you were tired and went to bed early. You were with her, weren't you? She came over after you texted that you'd be late. We were in the guest room. When you got home, she couldn't finish. I was sleeping in our bed while you were with her in the next room? Nathan. At our anniversary dinner tonight, she thanked you for last night. She thanked you for effing her in my house while I was home. And you smiled and said any time like it was a private joke. I'm so sorry. Did she know about me when you got together in college? Claire shook her head. No. That was just us. You came later. Does she know you're married? Of course she knows. Nathan, she's my best friend. She's been at our house 1,000 times. So she knew she was helping you cheat on me. She'd sit at our dinner table, eat our food, laugh at my jokes, all while knowing she was sleeping with my wife. Claire was sobbing now. It's not like that. Then what is it like, Claire? Explain to me what it's like. I love you both. I don't want to lose either of you. I stared at my wife, this woman I'd built a life with, who I'd trusted completely, and felt like I was seeing a stranger. You can't have both of us, I said quietly. Why not? People can love more than one person. Not like this. Not with lies and hotel rooms and sneaking around. If you wanted an open marriage or some kind of arrangement, you should have asked me years ago. But you didn't. You just cheated and let me think we were happy. We were happy. We are happy. No, Claire. You were happy. You got a husband for the public life and a secret girlfriend on the side. I was just the idiot who didn't know. I grabbed my phone and wallet. Where are you going? Away from you. I need to think. I drove to a hotel, ironically, and checked in. Spent the night staring at the ceiling, my mind replaying every interaction I'd ever witnessed between Claire and Jordan. The touches that lasted a beat too long. The inside jokes I didn't understand. The way Jordan would look at Claire when she thought no one was watching. How had I been so blind? The next morning, I called a divorce attorney. Then I called my brother and told him everything. Then I went back to the house when I knew Claire would be at work and packed my essentials. I left her a note, file the paperwork or I will. We're done. Claire called me 17 times that day. I didn't answer. She texted me novels, apologies, explanations, promises to end things with Jordan, begging for another chance. I finally responded, you had 8 years of chances. You chose to lie through all of them. Jordan texted me too, I'm sorry. I never meant to hurt you. Please don't blame Claire. I blocked her. The divorce is almost final now. Claire fought it initially, kept insisting we could work it out, that she'd give up Jordan, that she chose me. You didn't choose me, I told her during mediation. You chose to lie to me. There's a difference. We sold the house, split everything 50-50. No kids, no complicated assets, just the death of a marriage built on deception. Through mutual friends, I heard that Claire and Jordan are together now. Openly. They post photos on social media, hold hands in public, live together in an apartment downtown. Part of me wonders if they would have gotten together openly years ago if I hadn't been in the picture. If maybe I was just the convenient excuse, the safe option while Jordan figured herself out. I'm in therapy now, working through the betrayal and the questions. Was anything about my marriage real? Did Claire ever actually love me, or was I just a comfortable placeholder? How do you trust anyone again after something like this? My therapist says it's normal to question everything. That what Claire did was cruel, regardless of her confusion about her sexuality. That I deserved honesty and choice, not lies and manipulation. Here's what I learned: sexual orientation doesn't excuse cheating. Claire being bisexual and in love with a woman doesn't make the betrayal less painful. She had choices. She could have been honest with me, asked for an open relationship, gotten a divorce. Instead, she chose deception. Also, your gut knows things before your brain catches up. All those small weird moments I dismissed? They were telling me something was wrong. I wish I'd listened. And finally, some people are capable of loving you while simultaneously betraying you. Those two things can coexist in their mind even though they're incompatible in reality. Claire probably did love me in her way. She just loved herself and her secret more. I'm dating again, slowly. Trust is hard now. The first time a date mentions a close friend, I feel my chest tighten. But I'm working on it. I deserve someone who chooses me clearly, honestly, without secret hotel rooms and whispered thank yous. We all do. If you made it this far, thanks for reading. Drop a comment with your thoughts, and hit subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you in the next one.